Good evening, love, and good evening, light, illuminators and way showers. Thank you for being with me once again. My name's Wendy. This is Dave. And together we're here sharing once again inspiration about the languages of lights, how all things speak and emit the language of light. And one of the things that we're talking about that I was inspired to talk about today is the sun and water and emitting light codes, information. Oh, I forgot my cute little beaker bottle, iced tea thing. I may pause to go get it because it's cute. So this evening, it's the sun is getting ready to set here in South Florida, and typically what I do in the evening, unless sometimes in the morning, but I like to do it in the evening, is I fill buckets of water from the outside hose, and I let the water stand in the buckets, and what I refer to as my solar water. If you've been watching my channel for a little while, I have spoken about this before in making sun tea and how much I love making sun tea. So Dave bought me a really cool sun tea jar that looks like a beaker, and it's got a sun kind of thing on the front, and it's just really fun and cool. So that was part of the message today, was about that too, about the fun, cool part of all of this. So, and I'm watering my plants, and so one of the reason is I put the water in the buckets first because I let the sunlight absorb into the water, the light codes, the information, the UV lighting, my own light languages, my own blessings. As we know from Dr. Emoto, if you're familiar with this work, and it has been proven now over and over again, thoughts change water, intentions change water. We know about holy water. So the biggest reason I do this is because I also use this solar water for my indoor plants. So I simply fill up the buckets. I leave the buckets sit out, usually all day, at least a day. And now that the full moon's coming, many of us also charge our crystals in the full moon. So I was also reminded that the moonlight and the light energy information and light codes from the moonlight as well, which is sunlight reflecting off of the moon, but yet it has a different energy. It has a different charge to it. And so you can even look up sun-charged water. It changes the molecular structure and also releases, many of us who live in metropolitan areas have treated water. So it's been treated with chemicals, chlorine perhaps, purification processes. And so this allows the water to sit and evaporate many of these chemicals and allow the water to resume more of its natural state, if you will, and yet allow these chemicals to be released and basically transformed, and also our belief systems of literally purifying the water and purifying the water into the vessels when whether it's removing it out of the automatic refrigerator like I do, blessing it as it's coming out, blessing it as it's going into the coffee pot, the tea. It all matters. It all makes a difference to the water. And so one of the things I wanted to share with you about the fun part of it too is bringing in, then I take that water then in the buckets and then I pour it into my other vessels, my watering cans. And so this is one of my favorites. I was watering the plant with my beautiful copper green, and I chose this for our green heart, earth, heart chakra, earth color, of course plant color, the green porch, our green porch as we call it. And so I have also these fun little bottles that just collected, and these have, and actually I was reminded too that I bought paints for glass, and that we can actually paint light codes on here. We can paint blessings on our bottles, and to utilize that as a permission slip to also enhance our water, give it the highest vibe we can, and then feeding our plants and indoor plants with it. So I was just inviting you all to show you some of the bottles that I use, that I fill, just colorful. And actually these were old oil bottles, used for like olive oil. And oftentimes, the tops get kind of where they don't seal anymore. So I just reuse them, and I like to repurpose things.
So science has already shown
Yes,
that sound
that's
affects water.
that too. Yes.
That even thoughts and environment affects water.
A little seashell on it.
So why not, number one, have the biggest energy source of our solar system help put the water back into its most natural state, and by putting the symbols or even thoughts and intentions into the water, we also know that water can be programmed in that way.
Absolutely.
So
It's a consciousness.
use these permission slips, but this also is supported by science.
Yes, it is.
So you could easily use these things to help enhance the water that you use for yourself and plants and
Yes, absolutely. And that's
whatever else you might need water for.
And it's
Even in fish tanks.
and yes, as Dave and I, he grew up with taking care of a lot of fish, and what would you call that? Breeding them,
Breeding,
I
yeah.
guess, breeding them.
Fish
and,
breeder.
and so we talked a lot about that too, about how allowing the water to sit to allow the chemicals to dissipate before putting it in the fish tanks as well. So along the similar lines, and so it's just one of the things I was inspired to share with all of you, that we can take these ideas and take us up a notch, vibrationally speaking, and reminding ourselves that we have the power to create and change things in the water, the structure of the water, of ourselves, of our bodies. And here's the water fountain. I love our water fountain. So several of you have commented on the water fountain. So it was an inspiration from Dave. It just arrived one day, beautiful, and it's got lights in it, so we get to see it at night as well. So we thought I'd take a few minutes to share this inspiration with all of you in front of the fountain and in front of my plants, and just share with you some of the ways that I actually apply these higher consciousness and dimensional education ideas. But really, it's stuff we kind of already know, and it's just a reminder.
Yeah, many cultures have the tradition of whatever water that you collect to set it aside and not use it immediately.
That's true, and
So
actually people talk about
we're just
using
remembering things we already knew.
and copper vessels. People are also often guided to use copper vessels, stone vessels.
Copper reduces the chance of bacteria. That's why
That's
people
why
put copper on their roofs, so mold and
mold
algae
and doesn't grow. And so there's all of these things that we can. But I think we scared Papa Dove. So Mama Dove's still up here. We're still not sure if she's got hatchlings yet in there. So Papa was just coming in, and I think we scared him a little bit. But anyway, so I don't know if there was anything else you wanted to add to that. I just wanted to take this moment to inspire all of you. And actually, I just posted a bunch of pictures of some more amazing. Today we spent the Sunday project was making a big pot of chili with all these colorful rainbow elements grown from the sun and the soil and the water and the air and the love and the ethers, and to remember to share your awareness and your gratitude to all of those elements when you are consuming your foods, to thank all of those who have touched it and grown it and picked it and brought it to us, and to remind us to enliven ourselves and awaken our chakras and immerse ourselves in the colors and the juiciness of all of it. And that's one of the fun things about eating all these wonderful peppers too, is that crunch and the splatter of the water.
Well, and since everything has consciousness,
It's
of course, the plants also do, and the food that we eat, even if they're peppers and vegetables.
And the flowers too. Dave bought fresh flowers, and so I thank the cut flowers, that I thank them for allowing themselves to be brought in and shared with us and shared with me, and sending gratitude to those flowers. And I also use the solar water in the flower mixture for that as well, sending the grace and gratitude to to those flowers as well, and to remind ourselves that also that when we're looking at flowers, to also remember that all of the elements that went into that as well. I feel like I'm forgetting something that I was going to say, but I guess it'll be shared another time. So I think that's all I had to share for today. How about you?
For now,
For now. Until the next
we
now.
bid you farewell.
And remember, water blessings to all of you. La kosoveshana tele halakisera, soporukole hashana se. La korakisena te ala kosoveshana se, mo otavelekia. Speak to your bodies like you would speak to the plants, like you would speak to the animals, like you would speak to a baby, softly, sacredly, silently, sweetly. Nalokosevesholokoseya, amokoshe siti, biamboroso, ma'alaki i'ia, ni kalikosoba, the koshonasi itiala.
And thank you for giving us the opportunity to share with you.
Because we like to share. Love you guys. Bye. I'll have to have our amazing chili.